Hi, Eric Lanask here at ITEXPO. We are at the Rio in Las Vegas, and on the program with me from Icon Cloud Solutions is Kevin Kelleher. Kevin, thanks for joining me.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
So, Icon Cloud Solutions came out of traditionally an on-premises hardware-based voice solutions company. Why the addition of the cloud solutions to the overall program?
Well, a long history. Icon Voice Networks, which is the company that Icon Cloud came from, we've got a 30-year history back to days with the Watts of America in the telephony side. And, 10 years ago, we saw the transition. Maybe it's 12 years now. Date myself, where voice and data was separate. And then we went the whole IP route. What we're seeing now is customers demand more of a managed service type aspect. I'll tell you a case in point. I think going to a cloud solution or hosted solution, many people would say that's an SMB play. But we had one of our dealers actually have a proposal to a large customer, 700 stations as an example. They were the finalists, provided a great, the Alcatel-Lucent Open Touch solution. The chief technology officer, this was what I want to go with. Somebody came in and proposed a hosted solution to him. At the very end, he said, I think I might go hosted. Our dealer, being diligent, did the old, sort of Ben Franklin, here's what it would cost over time, CapEx versus CP versus it. And, sort of said, hey, it's going to be less expensive if you go this way. And he said, at the end of the day, I just don't want to handle it. I want to have a relationship with a partner that can provide a managed service. So for us, the cloud's natural. The statistics show, InfoTrack, Gartner also mentioned that things are going to the cloud. But it's a natural for us because we've always provided a managed service type philosophy to go and provide that type of solution.
So you started to make the point about OpEx versus CapEx, and cost has always been part of the equation. But more and more, we're seeing in the media, we're seeing more and more talk about we don't necessarily want to deal with all the management of it, and we're kind of willing to relinquish some of that control in order to not have to deal with that.
Right.
Is that what you're seeing?
It is. As a matter of fact, at the show here, I went to one of the panel sessions, and they had a gentleman, I think his name was David Jada, and he is a CIO for a nonprofit organization. They have 68 facilities. And actually that question was posed to him. Why do you want to go, or what's your reason? And he's a private cloud right now with his infrastructure, but he wants to go to more hosted. And the question was asked him, why do you want to do it? He says, I don't have all the expertise to manage all these different aspects of my IT realm. Specifically when it comes to voice, I want a partner that can go ahead and take care of me, understand what I need, and provide a good service. So I think you're seeing that, from that first example I gave to even here, specifically large enterprise play too, as well as small. They want a partner that can go ahead and provide a solution because they don't have all the expertise on staff to go ahead and manage it themselves.
When you get into the larger business sizes,
right.
The argument always has been, they're not really comfortable giving up all of that control to a managed services provider.
Right.
Is that starting to change? You specifically mentioned one. Are you seeing more change in that direction?
We are, and I think, quite frankly, our offering is conducive to it because our hosted offering, which is built on the Alcatel-Lucent, Bell Labs carrier-grade platform,
sure,
is a per-instance model. And in that respect, you're not just a tenant off this massive soft switch. You actually have an instance which is unique to yourself. So you actually have your own virtual CPU. And so from our aspect, they sort of like that idea that they still have that control. It gives us flexibility because we can really do a true hybrid model. And to be honest with you, 80% of the proposals we have in a large enterprise, they're all hybrid. They need something on premise, a gateway on premise. They may have an area where they don't have Cat5 cabling. They need some digital or analog connectivity. We're very keen because we're a development company of integrating business processes, other business processes. So I think one of the concerns that large enterprise had was losing their individuality. Like I've got my communication system hooked up to a bunch of other things. I think the hosted companies have done a great job. Everybody's integrating a CRM with Salesforce.com and the like. What we do is we actually take emergency notification systems, video surveillance, and we integrate with that with our solution. So on the telephone itself and on your iPhone, you actually can go ahead and access those devices. So I think that individuality, the per instance, has been a benefit.
Does the fact that you offer a branded solution that has traditionally been recognized in the enterprise and also in the carrier space, with the Alcatel-Lucent brand, does that help you push further into the large enterprise market as opposed to others who may not have some quite as recognizable brands?
It does, and we do market. I mean, if you ask me the 4 or 5 attributes, I would say carrier grade, and we really push carrier grade. Back to the days of ATT and through Lucent, I mean, they developed the infrastructure. They know the core infrastructure. Bell Labs backing it up. We actually do a multi-device, multimedia, so the video is well supported on that because they've developed the algorithms and things to go ahead and do that. So it does have a real positive play.
One of the other aspects of cloud-based solutions that more and more people are starting to talk about is the idea of business continuity. What are you seeing in that area?
Oh, it's unfortunately upfront and close and personal. I think a lot of, even as we train our partners to go out and how to position cloud, it often goes to the recurring revenue model and the OpEx versus CapEx. And so you're justifying, hey, you can save money, you can do this. Business continuity is a big issue, and if it's not part of anyone's presentation today, it needs to be. So the personal experience is 2 weeks ago in our facility, we had an 8-inch water main break in our facility. It displaced us. We had 8 inches of water in our labs and the like. It's one of those events, this will never happen to me. Okay, well it did. Now fortunately for us, all our services, email, voicemail, the communication side, the voice side was all hosted. So we didn't miss a beat. We had calls immediately. We immediately set up a remote facility, used 4G LTE back to our data center, and we were up and running. So business continuity is as much an issue as the OpEx versus CapEx model. And I think that in a true managed service, when you're partnering with a customer for a solution, you've got to build that into the equation. And again, 30 years in this business, I surely never thought it would happen to me. We talked to it, but trust me, I'm a big believer of it.
So the BC situation seems like it's an awful lot like security. Mm-hmm. Not that nobody takes it seriously, but everybody thinks, oh, it's not going to happen to me, so they don't always take the necessary precautions until it's too late. Are you going to be able to use this experience that you've had at ICON to leverage that with some of your customers to help them understand that they have to consider?
It will, and quite frankly, we'll take it from a technology aspect. We've built an integration. We have a partner company called Status Solutions, mm-hmm. and they basically, it's an alerting type software where you would have different devices. It could be a monitor, it could be a temperature sensor, it could be a water bug, in this case, mm-hmm. really key. Quite frankly, every business should have this type of technology. In their communications room, they should have a temperature sensor, so all of a sudden if the air conditioning goes out, they may lose some servers, or the water bug. Well, we integrate that to our voice solution, so that is presented as an alert notification on your station, on your iPhone, calling any other locations you may want. So I think you can actually not just talk to it and develop a plan, but you can actually provide it as an integrated solution.
Got it. Well, Kevin, it's fantastic stuff. Glad you guys are able to stay up and running after that incident, and thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.